All right, this module we're gonna do a multi-factor regression analysis using the Fama-French three-factor model. We're gonna go over how to do that on Excel and how to run this multi-variable regression and do a little bit of interpretation of betas and alphas to that. So I have here on Excel a spreadsheet which some given data for you guys. So I have here fund A and fund B, which are the funds that we are going to compare. We have here the returns since the 2000s, November 2000. We have here the risk-free rate returns on the same period on a monthly basis. And then we have here also the excess returns on the market over the risk-free rate, also on a monthly basis. We have here SMB stands for small minus big, right? Or our small stocks excess returns over the large stocks, and HML stands for high to low book value, or if you think that book value rate, right? It's interpret that as the value stocks minus growth stocks, or and here's the small minus large. Okay. So we have here some already calculations done, annualized mean here, and standard deviation and Sharpe ratio. You could run geomean here if you want, but clearly here Fund B was had a better performance here than Fund B, greater a little bit standard deviation, but a higher Sharpe ratio, right? However, can you compare them and say that they outperformed also the market, right? So we talked about it, and this is the regression that we are going to run. If you remember the three-factor model here from Fama and French, it kind of breaks down the excess returns of the asset on the risk-free rate. We add an alpha that we want it to be positive if there is excess returns, or zero if there's no. And he breaks down that in three risk factors here that we are going to incorporate in our regression here in our model. So first thing that you got to do is get to this first part of the equation, which is the return of the asset over the risk-free rate. To do that, I will just get fund A returns minus the risk-free rate returns. Just gonna lock here the column, and I can drag it down all the way here. Okay. I'll do the same with fund B, although we're gonna run it separately. Okay, fund B returns minus the risk-free returns. And okay, we're gonna be using that part over here from to the analysis. Okay, to do that, on data here, I have here data analysis, which is an add-in that you should be able to pull here, clicking on add-ins, and the analysis tool pack. Okay, just hit go if it's underneath, but I have it installed already, and I will click here, and I will search here regression, hit OK. Oops, let me just kill that. And in order to do that, I'm gonna be doing first fund A. So my Y range here, I'm gonna select fund A column all the way down the values. And because I selected also the label here, I'll click here on labels. And as the X range, because it's a multi-variable regression model, I'll select those three entire columns here, or excess returns on the factors that we're doing that as well. And I'm gonna do this analysis. I'm gonna put the results here on new worksheet called Fund A. Okay. I'm gonna hit OK, and the regression is done. So let's analyze it quickly. So I have here on the summary output, we can see that the intercept here is our alpha, right? So over here it's alpha. The market minus risk-free, this and the small minus big, and H minus L or value minus growth. Those over 3 here are our coefficients or betas, right? So by looking here, we can see that those 3 are positive. So we can say that this fund does well when small values, or sorry, small stocks are outperforming large stocks. This fund is doing well. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Stop drawing. There you go. So we can see here that because this is a positive coefficient, when small stocks are outperforming large stocks, this fund is doing well. And at the same time, when value stocks, remember H stands for value here, are outperforming growth stocks, this fund is also doing good. So looks like this fund has a close relationship with small stocks and also with value stocks, right? So after accounting for that, we can see its alpha over here. It's positive. So even though after accounting for its investment style, it still has positive alpha, which means excess returns over its benchmark, right? However, we can go a little bit further and analyze here the p-values of it. And you can see that this alpha here is greater than 0.10 or 0.05%, which means that these excess returns are not statistically different, right? Although those 3 coefficients here have low p-values, so this close relationship with small stocks and value stocks does exist, right? Okay, let's do the same for Fund B. So I'm gonna go over data analysis, regression. Now my Y range is gonna be Fund B. I'm gonna highlight it all, same range here. On the X variable, I highlighted this whole interval, and my new sheet is gonna be Fund B. Now let's look at these results over here. Make a little bit. So again, this is our alpha, the intercept, negative. So actually this fund, if you remember, it had a 4.52% on monthly or annualized return, sorry. However, when we run the regression and account for those factors, it actually did not outperform its benchmark. And it was actually significant, this alpha, right? So we can conclude that this Fund B did not deliver excess returns. And we can also interpret those 3 coefficients here. And we can say that when small stocks are doing good, because it's positive, when small stocks are outperforming large stocks, this fund is doing good. However, you see here this negative coefficient. When value stocks are outperforming, this fund is doing bad. So actually it has a kind of tilt towards to growth stocks, because when value is outperforming growth, the fund is doing bad. So we can conclude here that it has some small stocks relationship here and growth stocks relationship here, right? So this is, and the same thing here, p-value is significant. So this is a significant relationship. And finally, so this is what the multivariable regression tells us. It's slightly different alpha than the CAPM, although we control for those risk factors separately, and we can say a little bit about this funds or investments characteristics, right? So actually, if you look at Fund A profile, we will see here that this is this fund, and it is a small value approach to investments. If you remember here, we said here small is doing good, the fund is doing good, value is doing good, fund is doing good. It is a small value investment strategy. Now the Fund B profile, it's a small growth strategy, and when small stocks are outperforming large stocks, the fund is doing good, and when growth stocks are outperforming value stocks, or here the opposite, the fund is doing good. So small growth strategy here as well, as we can observe. So this is the regression, the multivariable three-factor Fama-French model that you can run to evaluate the performance of investments or funds, considering for known factors that would influence returns. All right.